It's time for Bookkeeping Beer and BS. I forget how you said it earlier, but you hit it on the head earlier, where it's like money might get people to like show up for a job, but it's not. It never gets them to go the extra mile, right? It's pride, and pride is the thing that gets us to go the extra mile too. Like it's not. We don't. I mean, we don't do this thing to get rich. Some of us do, and some of us will. But for a lot of us, it's like we like working hard with our hands, and we're like at the end of a hard day's work, that's when we're happiest. Yep. Sitting around, we're miserable. Yep. I was telling this story earlier on my earlier podcast. I had eye surgery last Thursday, and I was like down and out Friday and Saturday from it. And then I got the stomach bug on Sunday, so I literally like couldn't go outside, and I couldn't do any like heavy lifting. I basically like sat in a dark room for 2 days because the light sensitivity was like killing me. I couldn't go outside. I tried to drive my kids to school Friday morning, and like I should have been locked up. I'm surprised I didn't kill somebody, including my entire family. It was the stupidest decision I've ever made. And then Sunday I had a stomach bug, so I was just like horizontal, couldn't do anything. 3 days in a row of like not moving around. Like Monday, I felt like running a marathon. Yep. I was just like, I can't. We're just not geared to sit around. We're geared. Like there's no pride in sitting around. I think there's something to that with like how you acquire money, right? People that win the lottery are not happy. No. People that win gambling are not happy. There's no pride in winning money.
If you were a selfish, miserable person when you're broke, you will be a selfish, miserable person when you have money.
Hell yeah.
Like that. My parents, both my parents have passed away, but my parents were prime examples of that. Dude, I grew up very, very humble. My mom was a professional butt cleaner, aka she was a nursing assistant at a senior living center.
Professional butt cleaner.
That's what my dad used to call her. We didn't understand it then. Yeah. So my parents were in a nursing home that were like, I
get it.
But anyway, my dad was. It's kind of funny. My dad was like a jack of all trades, master of none, and he used to go downtown Flint. And he would go like building to building at all these businesses, and he'd wash their windows for like $12. And I'm like, Dad, if he could see this now, I'm like, dude, who would have thought that like there's companies that make like millions, like Josh Latimer, when he had Birds Beware, which was right here in my hometown. I never knew that he was Conqueror, by the way. That's a whole nother story.
Yeah, that's funny. Yeah.
I didn't realize it then. I knew Birds Beware, but I didn't know who it was and all that. But there were no Birds Bewares when my dad used to go around downtown Flint and wash windows.
Yeah, it was just an odd job on the side to hustle up some money.
Yeah, but my parents would they loved, my mom got paid every other Thursday, and that was always our Kmart night. We would go to Kmart on my mom's payday, and we'd always go to this little Coney Island. That was our one night out to dinner. We'd go out to dinner every couple weeks, and that was like our family time. And so even though they didn't have a lot, man, like my mom on the holidays would make this huge dinner, and she like loved to serve others. It's what she did. She would
literally she made a life about it.
She sold Avon. If you've ever heard of Avon, mom would buy all this Avon stuff. But we later learned she wasn't buying it to sell it. She bought it to use on all of her patients at the nursing home where she worked.
Man.
And it's funny now, like people that are my parents' friends or other family, they will say that about me. They're like, because I love to see people have a good time. Like 4th of July, where we live on this beautiful lake here in Heartland, and our lake, they don't do a fireworks show. So guess who does the sickest? I'm a licensed pyrotechnician. I actually went and got my license so I could do full pyro. I do the fireworks show for our lake. And like, I do it not because I take a big collection of money, and I do it because people love it. And it's funny because that was my parents. The only difference is, like, humbly said, I can do a little more because I have a little more. And so that whole thing, like you said about if all of a sudden you come into money, but you were selfish when you were broke, dude, you'll just be selfish when you got a little jingle in your pocket. That does not, you might think it's going to solve your problems, but and it was actually a self-limiting belief for me. Oh man, this was a crazy part of my journey. Somebody said to me, And it's like stuck with me. He said, Sam, when you don't come from much, it doesn't take much for you to feel like you're successful. And we end up setting a low bar. So humbly said, like, not to put too much of my business on the street, but like when I was able to pay myself my first 6-figure income, dude, I thought I was like Donald Trump. Like that to me, and I like hung out there for a while because I'm like, dude, I don't.
We made it.
We did it. We are like God's gift to entrepreneurs. So if we could just stay here, and I remember saying that to this guy, I said, if I could stay here and just and this was during the dark years of that 16, 17 journey.
Yeah.
I said, if I could just stay here and just get it profitable, and I could make this money, I would be happy with that. And this is what he said to me. He said, anybody that grows a business past a certain point, like I think that $1 million mark's a great benchmark. So anybody that can do that, they really don't want to stop growing at that point. So anytime somebody says, and we'll hear this in the coaching world, we'll hear it when you're talking to your clients, they'll say, if I could just stay the size I am, but be profitable, I'd be happy. And right there, that to me, I picture my kids when they're crying or they just fell off their bike when they were younger. And then they come running up to you and they put their hands up like this because they want you to just pick them up or hug them.
Yeah.
That to me is like those business owners like saying, I just want help. They think the answer is just staying right where they're at. That's not what they want. They want help. They want to grow. So whenever somebody says, if I could just stay here and be profitable, I'd be happy. No, you wouldn't be. You think you would. But the thing is you've just got to grow past the journey where you're at. And so anyway, those milestones of growth points are just, I have such a passion for them because I remember them all and I see people in them now. And so I could talk about them all night, but I don't want to fall asleep on your show. So,
hey, what's up, business nerd? Thank you so much for tuning in. I hope you learned a heck of a lot watching that episode. Do me a favor, subscribe right down here. And if you really like what you saw, you got more goods right here. Check out this one or check out this one and do this. Go subscribe. Appreciate you. Work smarter, work harder, go earn yourself some pride. Catch you on the next one.